This video is brought to you by Flower Magazine. See the description of this video to subscribe now and receive 6 copies each year for more beautiful interior design, flowers, and gardens.
The space that we designed was a challenge, but we had a lot of fun doing it. I would say that, a challenge is always, it's exciting. It could be tough. Hi, this is Nina Long, and I'm with Matthew's Design Group, and I did the gentleman's dressing room and his powder with my design partner, Don Easterling. For this room, our starting point was really just kind of figuring out the layout and what were we going to do in this room. It was just an empty room. There was no cabinetry in it, so we had to really kind of get creative and think what would aesthetically look really great, but what would also be functional. So the inspiration was a wallpaper called Honorary by Fromental, and they have the most beautiful hand-painted wallpapers I've ever seen. And this one in particular really stood out to Don and I because it was so interesting. It wasn't your typical chinoiserie paper that can be really super formal or traditional. This had a little bit of a different feel to it. And what we really loved about it was that it was kind of masculine, which we really liked. We thought it was perfect for this space. I would say the coolest thing was that it had these birds of prey and like falcons and hawks, and we just thought that there was something really interesting about that. And also just the design itself was just really unusual with the hand-painted trees and just the color. That ochre color in the background is just, you can't even appreciate it in photos. You really have to see it in person. It's just, it has this kind of glow to it almost. And the browns in it were really, really beautiful. And we felt like from the very beginning, we wanted to do brown cabinetry in this space. It's not something you see every day. And I don't know, we just thought it would be really, really different. And then to really even amp that up even more, we decided to lacquer it. We thought that the sheen would be really cool and it would add some more light into that space with the reflection and the lacquer. And I think between that and the wallpaper, it was really kind of like a great starting point for us. Our favorite moments in that room, I feel like there were several. The photograph, the Slim Aarons photograph with Mick Jagger in it. And something about the juxtaposition of this iconic, image. They were in a castle, in Ireland, and, they're in this really formal place, but they're sitting very casually there for a party, and the large, portrait behind them was kind of crooked, and we needed something in the room to kind of take the edge off, and we thought that it'd be fun. Design doesn't have to be so serious all the time, so that was like a really fun moment for us to just add a little quirk to the room, and people just seemed to go crazy over it, and it was one of my favorite little moments as well. Another neat little vignette was the arch in the cabinets. When you walked straight into the room, you saw this beautiful arch that has the Fromental wallpaper on the wall, and then you have the lacquered cabinets, and we found this beautiful inlaid chest that we wanted to use in this room. So we designed really that little arch around this little chest, and we wanted it to have, some sort of pattern, because there was a lot of, there's no like furniture in this room. It's really just almost kind of just like this chest. So we knew that it was an important piece, and the design on it gave a great texture against the lacquer, and it worked out perfectly. We did a gorgeous antique bullseye mirror over that, and an old chinoiserie Tiffany clock, and then a beautiful antique alabaster lamp. Some of the pieces in our space that really kind of tied it together was definitely the antique rug from Moatar. It had all the colors, and the minute we tried that rug and we laid it down, we really just knew that it was it. It had some of the browns and the beautiful blues, and it was casual, and it felt masculine, and it just brought in this handsome aspect. And the size was perfect, which is hard to find in antique rugs. Another piece that was really interesting was the Ralph Lauren bamboo chandelier. Was also just kind of the perfect touch. It was a new piece, new Ralph Lauren piece, and so it hasn't been seen many places, and there's a lamp that goes with it, a neat little floor lamp that had a brass shade, and those two pieces from Circle Lighting were just perfect. In the powder room, one of my favorite things was definitely the faucets. The unlacquered brass faucet by Waterworks was just to die for, and it really made that bathroom, I think. Something about the style of that piece. It was handsome, and it was the perfect balance, and the scale was just perfect, and the cross handles stood out really nice on that gorgeous marble. We loved working with the shade store, and they absolutely nailed that shade for us. We only had one window, so there was one opportunity for us, and we chose to do a more simple tulip shade, but we did it in a sheer fabric, and it was just really wonderful to work with them. So they really helped us kind of figure out what we needed to do with that tricky window. It was very tall, and we weren't sure how to treat it, but what they ended up making for us was just absolutely phenomenal, and it was just perfect for that space. The globe, the Jam London globe in there from Ainsworth Noah was stunning, and it was perfect. It drew your eye up in that room, and you could see the reflection of it in the antique mirror, and it just added a little something extra to that little powder room, because it was quite small. So we tried to do something that wasn't too overpowering, and that one ended up being just really perfect. The actual show house itself was really just phenomenal in Peter Block's design, from just the intricacy in the walls and the floor plans, and the scale of windows and rooms, and how each room just felt so special and thoughtful, and you could feel that when you walked through, and it was a different layout than you see everywhere, but it really felt good, and such good use of all the rooms, and I could see that being a house that really gets used, and that would be very loved by whoever lives there. Definitely like no other show house I've ever seen, that's for sure. We were so grateful, and we felt so lucky to be a part of this home with all these amazing designers, and Flower Magazine, of course. It was just amazing.